Testing, testing, one, two, three. Mic check. We want to welcome everybody here to our 2024 Burleson County Youth Market Steer Show. The Steer Show is a granddaddy highlight of every county fair. We have 27 steers competing in this year's show. Just a few introductions to get started, the people that take time out of their busy schedules to help make the steer show possible. I'm Danny Archery, one of the co-chairmen for the committee. The other co-chairman is Jeff Baldwin. Our director is Joni Urbanowski, sitting right over here at the end of the table. Others that serve on the steer committee are Edward and Donna Musney, Crystal Baldwin, Cody Howe, Rachel Novosad, Brandon Faust, Dylan Autry, Chandler Homeyer, Grace Fritcher, and Becky Autry, and Maddie Neff. This is our third year of breaking up the steers into three divisions: the American, European, British, AOB, or crossbred. All the steers must meet the criteria of the breed classified divisions determined by a three-member committee that happened earlier this week. I'm happy to say that we did make all three divisions this year. In American, there are two classes. The British, European, there are two classes. And the AOB or crosses, there are four classes. There will be a 20 steers in the premium auction determined by the judge. Our steer judge today is Mr. Taylor Graham. Mr. Graham is from Miami, Oklahoma. Taylor works for Ridley Block Operations as an account manager. He received his bachelor's and master's from Oklahoma State University. Taylor was successful on the judging teams at Butler County, Community College, and OSU, collecting all three American awards across his career. Taylor and his wife, Bailey, raise cattle on the ranch in Narcissus, Oklahoma. Taylor has two children, an 18-month-old child and a 1-month-old. We're happy to have him here today.
Missed a meeting of what? That's okay. Okay. Jeff, John. I'm gonna do that with him here. That way, and you here, and her. She draws. Okay. Um, we're gonna do the draw real quick for random drug test. Can we do that? Can we use your hat? Yep. You step in that way. Draw. I don't have to. We need to announce that before he does something. Right?
No, you can do it anytime. Last two, British.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you for having me here to the Burleson County Fair. Got a great single entry to begin our steer show. Young lady's got a steer weighs 12-18. I think look and presence, levelness up high, all those things are really good. Be fun to see them here in competition, but congrats to her with her project.
Every steer that is in the show today will have to take a weigh back over at the little tan building. So every steer will have to weigh back after their class. We have one steer that is a random to do a random drug test on. And the steer that was drawn today will be out of the British class, class 2, first place, that was drawn out of a hat.
Your your first your first place. Your results for your Class 1 American goes to Haley Sears. Your results for the first class of American first place goes to Haley Sears. It's still
I'll just pull them as they come off the line. Young lady, we're going to go ahead and begin with that one you're pulling out with. I like that steer's reach and flex off either end. I think that he's square in the way he plants them off of all four corners. You get on top of him, and as far as shape and expression of muscle within a steer that gives you a look of presence and balance from the side, I think that steer just gives you a great look of show steer quality, and yet he still does so with some shape and expression of muscle up high without lacking really here from the profile. Now, whether or not you think that one's just as deep-centered as he could be, that's kind of my question to him a notch, but I think that steer puts the most good together, and that's why he kind of needs to go on top. A little closer when we think about 2 and 3, I'm going to go with the other gold-white switched one here to be second. I think that steer, just as far as cutability and shape and expression up high compared to the black steer in third, cutability gives him the advantage. If we could change that steer a notch in the way that he's made up front, wants to toe out a little more upright in the angle of that shoulder, but a steer, the young lady does a good job of showing you the great things about that steer as far as his muscularity and expression of muscle. I think a really good moving, good kind of steer over here in the black motley faced one. I like his flexibility at the ground, and he's really, really good structured. He's a steer that gives up some shape and expression compared to the two that stand above him. Not quite as good as far as the way his top line bends from front to rear, but again, 3 good cattle in here and a good class to sort through. Congrats to each of you.
Results for your American Class 2, first place, Mackenzie Sebesta. Second, Kyron Plackey. And third, Aubrey Lockhart.
If you're good on technology, you can get on Facebook or YouTube. Go into jeffriesmarketing.com and you can watch the show live. Okay, now we're on our division drive for American breed.
All right, such a fun division, and one I really enjoy evaluating. I like the American style of cattle when we think about the added foot size and flexibility at the ground that we've seen here within this division, and things that kind of go along the lines with cattle that classify that way. I just like their burliness, and I think that we've got three of them that stand out here and another one back there that all kind of fit that mold of cattle that can go out and use that Brahman influence in southern cattle country, and I think they're certainly fun to look at. There's a good pair of them that stand in front of us. I like the young lady's gold steer to win our American division. Our gold one right here is going to be reserve, and I believe we'll go all the way through, but let's give these two young ladies a round of applause.
Your American Division champion goes to Mackenzie Sebesta, and your reserve champion goes to Kyron Plackey.
Well, I think an interesting trio that we have. I'm going to do them from right to left. I'm going to start with the Hereford marked one here to my right. I like that that one's body shape and kind through his center skeleton is good. Reaches off either end. He's big-footed, flexible at the ground. With a little bit of, we got two moderate ones here that are going to go 1 and 2, and they're weighing 12 something, and a pair of steers that I think we would look a little bit better if we could change their maturity pattern, maybe give them a little more gas in the tank as far as elevation up front and height. And so I get that the fact that this Hereford steer probably is a little bit softer as we get over him. He's not the cutability advantage there within the pair, but he does have muscle. His skeletal width is good. His kind of cattle is good. And I think he's a steer that balances well when you get him off to the side. The red steer, I guess you'd call him shorthorn appearing, that ends up in second. He's extremely shapely up high. He's the more cutability advantage than the one just in front of him. He's a little Roman nosed and crooked faced. He's a little off in the way he blends there through his rear rib and flank and just touches his balance just a little bit here from the side. But he is the higher cutability steer there within the pair. The black steer that's going to end up in third is very flexible, good traveling steer, strong right in behind his shoulder, good top line in that one. Gives up some muscle and power to the cattle that stand 1 and 2, but let's give these three a hand. Good job.
Results for your British Division Class 3. First place, Braxton Lockhart. Second, Ryan Ritchie. And third, Gregory Lesor.
Another neat pair of them we have here. Young man to my right's going to win our class. Balance is in that one's favor. You get him in motion, and especially when you see him going out of the ring, that one's just a lot more fluid in the way he reaches and flexibility through his joints. I like his ribbon body kind. I think that steer, as far as his look and presence, is good. Handling that one's fine. I think a steer that goes to both sides of the grid pretty well. But more than anything, I think a good structured, good-looking steer that's got muscle and cutability. Get to the one in second. That one does touch back with quite a bit of tone right in behind his shoulder. There's a big ribbon loin in that one. It's more so the way he gets in motion. Kind of the widest part of him is his shoulder. He'll waddle off either end just a touch and gives up some added shape there through his lower stifle and some look here from the side. But a good pair of them, and congrats to these young men.
Results for your Class 2 British. First place goes to Trevor Lockhart, and second goes to Braxton Lockhart.
Now we're going to do the British European drive. While we have a little time, I'm going to announce our graduating seniors for 2024. This will be their last county fair that they will show in. From Deanville 4-H, Catherine Hill. From Saddle and Sirloin, Trevor Lockhart. Representing Caldwell FFA, Hadley Novosad. Representing Burleson County 4-H, Caden Schroeder. From our Snook FFA, Kimber Sebesta. From Snook FFA, Mackenzie Sebesta. Remember, these will be our future kids and leaders of tomorrow. We're in good hands if you're over 60. God bless them.
Real good pair of Herefords we have in front of us. You know, just got done talking about them, but I think been a good division when we think about some cattle that have some quality of build, have some added ribbon body to go along with that. And muscle, it maybe didn't sort them as much as you think it would in certain ways. I think with these guys, there's a little more structure and build and reach as we think about our two classes that we have in front of us. But I think a good pair of them in front of us. The young man to my left is going to be our champion. Young man to the right is going to be reserve. Congrats to each of you.
Your British Division champion goes to Trevor Lockhart, and your reserve champion goes to Braxton Lockhart.
All right, interesting group to get into. Our great painted steer is going to win our class. Balance, look, structure, all those things are in his favor. And although he's not perfect at the ground, I think amongst his contemporaries, that one, as far as the way that he's built, I think is easily has the upper hand. Get on top of him, shape, expression, all those things are good. Gives you a good look here from the side. Gets a little different when we think about where we're going to go from there. I'm going to go ahead and use this young lady here in this blue shirt to be second. Even though that steer's just a bit up right there into his shoulder, I do like that that one has some shape right in behind it. I think that he's a steer that's high cut ability and a steer that has a good enough flex there to his rear leg when in travel that I think he's more the structural improvement of the one that's going to wind up in third. Now our gold steer down here to my far right, he's got some width there over his top and out of his hip, but the widest part of that one's going to be his shoulder and wants to toe out up front. A steer that's pretty tender in the way he handles those rears, but I think a steer that's close there in our middle pair. Our gray steer's, real long necked and a steer that's got some shape of muscle. I think we just got to change that one as far as skeletal maturity and the way that his rear leg functions. But again, an interesting class. Congrats to those exhibitors.
Good job. All right.
Results for your Class 1 AOB steers. First place goes to Kimber Sebesta. Second, Callie Markert. Third, Kagan Quatley. And then fourth place, Benjamin Novosad.
Fun group to sort through. Young ladies, Dapple Gray one going to begin with as far as sheer power, mass, and the way I like them built is you think about chest width, boldness of forerib, and the wider you can make them, the more muscle that lays on top of that. He's extremely shapely up high. Blends all those pieces together from rib into his loin, and as you get out of his hip and rear leg, I like the way that one's built. Now, we can get a little bit nitpicky as you think about the size and shape of his head, maybe the crest of his neck. I don't think in this group that's where we need to pick on that one, though. You get to the one that winds up in second, he is the neater looking one about his front third. He's a steer that's really up-headed. Young lady does a good job of getting that one presented and shown to you from the side. His big issue in a top pair of steers that both have a lot of shape. He's not got quite the muscle on one just in front of him, but more than anything is we study the way he utilizes that rear leg. Doesn't really use his hock quite as well. Wants to swing those two outside himself a notch from behind. The close pair to me is the one in 3 and 4. Young man's gray silver here's got a neck comes high out the top of his shoulder. I like his added presence. Even though that steers off a little bit in the outside toe shape of that steer, I think he utilizes movement better than the one that comes behind him. He's a little drier forerib steer that I think just doesn't have the added mass, but he's far the cutability advantage here within the pair. Young lady there in the leather harness, that one is big rib and very bulky there through the center part of his skeleton. He's studying right behind his shoulder. He's just a bit soft to the touch. I think a little bit past his prime when we think about the added cutability and shape and touch as you go to handle that one. You get him in motion, he could be a notch better in the way he handles, especially that left rear leg and the way he utilizes setting them down. Our young lady's got a steer that's just a little bit more immature than some of the other cattle. Kind of caught that class break a little bit off and having one of the lighter weight steers because he's trimmer than the one just in front of him. He's a steer that does have expression of muscle. He just lacks some skeletal width and volume and capacity to go above some other cattle. But she did a good job with a good steer, and he's a lot better than he is placed at the moment when we think about a group of cattle at a tough county fair. Let's make sure she leaves with a round of applause. That's a good steer.
Your results for Class 2 of AOB. First place goes to Hadley Novosad. Second, Mackenzie Sebesta. Third, Caden Schrader. Fourth, Cameron Hill. And fifth, Madison Markert.
Again, a fun group. The young man's Gold Brockle here is going to win our division. I think his steer's flex and reach is good, balance, and a good kind of cattle as we study him here as far as his rib and body. You know, I think that one, I don't know if it matters so much here within this group, but that one is teetering on maybe just getting to the edge of where I wish he was just a notch trimmer, but a steer that's built so good and a steer that I think reaches and flexes really well. Not quite as good in the shape of his rear foot as maybe as he could be, but I don't think it's necessarily important, but I know we're going to have a tough drive here in a minute. Our young lady here in kind of the orange paisley shirt's going to wind up in second with our silver steer. He's good as far as his shape up high, expression is good. He's actually a bit the higher cut ability one. Just wants to get a little in at his knee, a steer that's probably not built as flexible as the one above him, and that's what gets him in second. Our gold steer that's going to be in third, good necked. He's a long, tall, extended steer. With that, he needs a little bit more ribbon body to go with his added frame. He does have some shape up high, just lacks that added bulk and mass compared to some cattle above him. Our young man here that's going to be in fourth with our gray steer, that's probably as good a footed one, that's as flexible as any that we've seen here today in the way that he reaches and travels. That's a steer that gets a little bit flatter and narrower underneath, lacks some muscle compared to some other cattle. But let's give these young people a hand. Good job.
Results for your Class 3 of AOB. First place goes to Reagan Baldwin. Second, Jada Heater. Third, Hadley Howe. And fourth, Rylan Zaboral.
Our photographers have done an excellent job out here shooting some photos of these kids. Let's give them a round of applause. You can go to www.jeffrieslivestockmarketing.com to look at some of the photos of these kids showing.
I believe this is our final class we'll see here today. I'm going to use this gold one here to begin. I think a steer, as far as some rib and body volume, the way that you can talk about some dimension through his center part of his skeleton is very, very good. The steer you study him up high and the way that he blends there, neck, shoulder, forerib, into his rib and loin and out of his hip and rear leg, a steer that balances and gives you a great look, show steer look there from the side. I think about the only nitpicky thing I can really get to him that I think might be important. You study the way that he's shaped there into his left foot, kind of wants to curl under just a little bit on that left outside toe, but a steer that's sure hard to get around from lots of angles. I think that when they're standing still, our dark gray one here can rival that one as far as matching him in body width, having that amount of dimension up high. That's kind of a mature looking steer as we study about his head and neck, and you kind of think that through his bone work as well as burly as he is. And I certainly like those pieces. Most of all, whenever they step into motion, that steer really wants to not kind of utilize his hock. He just kind of throws those rear legs up underneath himself when he goes. I think that's the big sort there between the two of them. You get the young lady steer there in third, and both of those sisters have shown real good cattle all through this evening. I think that one's a lot the same way when we think about the amount of shape and expression up high that he has. Real good looking. I like the way you picked him all afternoon. This one, though, we got to get him to use his hock just a notch better if he's going to run with those others. You get the young man in the yellow shirt. I like the way that one's neck reaches high out the top part of his shoulder. He's very prideful when you think about his attitude. Look through that front third. He's a steer that blends well up high, and his structure is good. His biggest thing you get to a three-quarter view of a good steer, he's a notch flatter forerib, just giving you that foundation at the base in order to get the volume of muscle to go above some other cattle. Young lady here's done a good job here. I like the way that she keeps with this steer. He's not really wanting to be such a good team player, but she gets him stuck, and that's certainly something to be proud of when you think about a steer that offers the amount of rib and body that he has. He gives up some look and presence and some cattle above him, a little bit of muscularity and shape. Let's make sure she leaves with a hand in a really good class of steer.
Results for your Class 4 AOB. First goes to Madeline Faust. Second, Catherine Hill. Third, Kimber Sebesta. Fourth, Hudson Novosad. And fifth, Kyron Plackey.
Okay, we're going to have the division champion of the AOBs.
Well, an outstanding group of crosses that we have that come through the ring. You think about the 4 that stand out here, the 4 over in the corner, and plenty of them that went back to the barn. I like we'll get to go back through sale order, but there's certainly an outstanding group that stands in front of us. I think one kind of rises above the rest. It's the young lady's gold steer here that's going to be our champion. Let's give him a hand. We'll wait on that gray one over there to see about reserve, but congrats to you. Obviously, it gets a little closer when we think about these 4. A gray painted one there, good looking, neat top. The steer that gives up some skeletal build and dimension as we study them both in motion and as far as his added width. Our gray dapple steer, like I mentioned in class, like the way that one's built wide from the bottom up. Steer that's a bit plainer headed and necked, and the way that he's got that kind of crest, and just looks like he's a little bit shorter as we study him there from east to west. You get to the young man's gold baldy steer, I think as we study those in motion, he probably does move the best of all of them as far as the way that one reach and flexes. He's a little narrow-toed and footed as you study him there from that same angle. And he's a steer that, like I mentioned, if we could make him just a touch sharper and toned right in behind that shoulder, give him just a notch more cutability, then that's a steer that I certainly think has the build and added look to go ahead and run with. You get to the young lady's gray steer standing still. I think that's the one you kind of have to use. That's the steer as far as you get past his added maturity about his front third. He's big backed. He's got a lot of dimension up in through his upper pin set. He's really, really big legged. You get that one in motion. Doesn't utilize that hock as well as he can. I do think that that's a shapely steer that's got a huge eye in him, and he's a high cut ability one. In that close pair, I'm going to go with the second in that class to be reserved.
Your AOB division champion goes to Madeline Faust, and your reserve champion goes to Catherine Hill.
Okay, we'll have the Grand Champion Drive. All three divisions, American, British, European, and the AOB class. We're going to need all 27 steers and exhibitors back in after the Grand and Reserve Drive to do the sale order.
Boy, what a crowd here to watch an outstanding steer show. Thank you so much for having me here in Burleson County. My wife and two kids and I, we absolutely live, sleep, eat, and breathe raising show steers, and my hat's off to each of you that have anything to do with the cattle in the ring. They're hard to make, they're hard to get alive, they're hard to sell. They're hard to get in a family's home, and the work gets harder from there on out. And my many congratulations to you exhibitors for making it here to your steer show, making weight, and getting out and showing at one heck of a county fair with a lot of competition. I know I might have went to that school up 35 in Stillwater, but I'm well aware of the enormous support that you guys here in the state of Texas have and show your young people. Saw on the sign back over there, last year's steer brings over $50,000. Congratulations, Burleson County. Very few people can say that when you go to a county show and think about the support in that area. I'll leave you with this. I don't know what this one's going to bring, and I don't know how everything's going to go there through your sale, but let's leave these kids with a $50,000 round of applause, and I'll show you the champion.
That's
Been the whole afternoon.
Your grand champion market steer goes to Madeline Faust. And your reserve grand champion market steer goes to Catherine Hill.
Can you make an announcement to get a vehicle moved to this part back here?
Okay, we have a Chevrolet Tahoe with the license plates VFR 4737 that is blocking. We need to get it moved immediately back behind the arena. Maddie, will you hold up one of these? Will you hold up one of these? Which one do you want? You want American? American will go over here. Okay? They'll do here. The AOBs will be on the right. Start right here. Hey, we need all 27 steers back in here for sale order. Even if you have shown two, we need every one of them. Haley Sears, we need you in the show arena for sale order. We still need all 27 steers. Even if you're selling another animal or species in the auction, we still need all these steers for sale order. Callie Merker, we need you to the arena. Coming in. Hey, kids, if you're in line, turn your animal around, face this direction towards where you came in. Face your steer this way. I don't have no. Addison Marker, we need you to the arena. Hadley Howe, you're right here in this class. right behind the silver steer.
Hey, can everybody hear me? I'm sorry. I apologize. This is a big kind of a cluster right now. We're trying to do our best to get everybody situated. Exhibitors, you know how you go in the show ring, right? When we set up profile? Can y'all please try and help me set up profile like we're in the show ring? Try to keep cattle in a separate line so we can keep y'all separated from classes, the classes for the judge. If you don't mind, please. I know we're in a tight space. We just got to make do with what we got right now. Mrs. Sebesta from the back, can you please come up here? Where's she need to go? Miss Sebesta, come all the way to the front right here by Riggin. Where's Hudson? Hey, go down, bust a Yui, and come back behind her, okay?
Right behind who?
Sebesta. Same thing. Same thing. Just go down, bust a Yui, and come back behind Novaside. Hey, I had Kent second. I had Kent second. Everybody's in line like this. Yes, you are. Take that. Miss Sears. How are you, sir?
I told him you guys.
Yes, right.
How you turn this on?
Green light goes off. Immediately following the sale order, we will do showmanship. So anybody that wants to participate in junior, intermediate, or senior showmanship, please be sure to stay close by, have your calves ready to go back in the ring.
Okay, kids, we need junior showmanship. Line up at the gate. Here are the ages. If you're in the 3rd to 5th grade, junior showmanship, we need you in the arena. Junior showmanship, 3rd to 5th grade. Intermediate will be next, 6th through the 8th grade. And senior, 9th all the way to 12th. No 13th grade. Okay, here's your junior showmanship, 3rd through the 5th grade. Come in the arena. Don't forget, Cody Joe Hodges is playing tonight, our hometown singer.
I don't know if he's ready. We'll be doing intermediate showmanship immediately following juniors. So if you're going to be doing intermediate, we need you lined up at the gate, ready to go.
Boy, a really good group. It's going to get tougher from here. The youth here in Burleson County, we're certainly in good hands. Our young man there with the gold baldy is going to be our champion junior showman, but let's give them all a hand. Good job.
Congratulations to Regan Baldwin, our champion showman for juniors. Last call for intermediate showmanship. If you want to participate, we need you at the gate ready to go once the juniors get out. Any senior showmen that want to enter showmanship, be at the in staging, ready to go. We'll do senior steer showmanship immediately following the intermediates.
Again, a great pair of them that could have stood a lot of competition. Young lady with the gold steer is going to be your champion. Young man there in the pink is going to be reserved. Congrats to each of you.
And our intermediate showmanship champion was Ryan Ritchie. I'm sorry, correction, I said the wrong name. Our intermediate showman was Addison Markert. Sorry about that incorrectness a minute ago.
Boys, some seniors, I know I've only been here since 6 o'clock, but it's been fun to get to know your young people and interact with them throughout the afternoon. My hat's off to you as parents and ag teachers that are doing a great job raising their kids and keeping the important part on the front of the halter and not behind it. I'm not going to go through and critique these young people, mainly because I think they're all completely capable. They might not have had the dance partner they needed here at turnout time here this evening, but I think as we study them, the longer that we've waited, everybody got their calf set up and looks as though they know what they need to do to exhibit that animal to the best of their ability. I'm big on sticking the landing. It's really hard as you get out, and especially the major shows you guys get to go to, how little bit of time that you really get seen by a guy that's judging your show. And so when you get stopped, you better do it right, and you better do it correctly the first time and get that thing to look the best that he can. I think the young lady down here to my far left did the best job of that. Let's give her a hand, but good job to each of our seniors.
And our senior showman tonight was Miss Kate Hill. Thank y'all very much for joining us for the steer show. Thank you to Mr. Graham as well.